Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Techwood Solutions. So for today's Sunday Stock Talk, I couldn't go live because the Wi-Fi connection at my hotel isn't the best. But I went ahead and I asked the Learn Plan Profit group to share at least 10 different stocks that they would like me to break down. So again, my goal throughout this video is for you to simply cherry pick, a few out of the 10 stocks that we talked about today. If you see value in them, add them to your watch list, set effective alerts, and follow up with them when they make sense. We're going to be breaking a lot of these down on the 4-hour time frame. One of the ones that I know we have to talk about is AMC. AMC hit overall highs of $77.26. It's been pulling back ever since. A lot of people are questioning if it can have a second rally. As of right now, we are holding above EMA line. If we make lower highs once again and we drop right back down, that's a step in the wrong direction. So just make sure you take that into consideration. Again, if you're someone that would call themselves an ape and you want to hold, all power to you. If you're someone that wants to manage and mitigate risk, then again, I always encourage you to have a plan, and that's all we're ever here to encourage you to do. So let's go ahead and break down the first one that was recommended within the Learn Plan Profit group, and that was SPCE. So very, very popular stock. So once it loads as of right now, so this is Virgin Galactic, if you guys remember this one. Once my Webull platform loads, just to give you guys an idea of how poor the Wi-Fi is in my hotel room right now. So Virgin Atlantic has pulled on back to lows of 1387. It's been pushing up, holding above the EMA line, so that's definitely really good as we've been indicating signs of an uptrend. But now the question is, if you're not already invested like myself, right, in SPCE, the question isn't, okay, it's great that it's recovered, but does it make sense for me to buy now because I think it's going to continue to push up, or do I think that it has the potential to pull on back? And as right now, because it's pushed up so much, it wouldn't be much of a surprise if we break below EMA line and maybe test the support level at the SMA line, as we've been getting rejected by it. So at the end of the day, if we bounce off the EMA line and we continue to indicate signs of an uptrend on the 4-hour time frame, then great. SPC is still bullish. But when it comes down to breaking below and testing the support level, if we do break below the EMA line and we begin to make lower lows and lower highs, kind of like we did right on over here, then it wouldn't be much of a surprise if we break all the way back down to $24 a share or the overall SMA line. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So the next one is going to be XONE, also another very popular stock. This is ExxonMobil. This one was up a little bit over, barely. It's pretty much break even. One of the questions that I always like to encourage you to ask yourself is, are you buying and are you trading and are you investing when it makes sense? So looking at ExxonMobil, if I were to ask you a very simple question, right? Looking at the 4-hour time frame, looking at the overall highs, it gets rejected. Highs, gets rejected. Highs, gets rejected. Looking at where we're at right now and where we've been before, does this look like a good deal? It looks bullish because it's been indicating signs of an uptrend, but it's definitely not something that I would call a good deal. If anything, I see pullback potential, and based off previous patterns, I would want to buy closer to the SMA line, as that's where we tend to find a support level. So what I would do here is I would simply set an alert for the break below, $60 a share, and once we test the support level at $60, I just feel like buying at the lows and selling at the highs would make much more sense than buying at the highs and hoping that it goes higher. Just my 2 cents on that. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. This one's from Leo, and this stock is going to be TLRY. So also another very popular, but if I'm not mistaken, very risky specific stock. So this one was almost, again, pretty much break even on Friday. So looking forward to Monday at market open. If you guys are looking forward to Monday at market open, make sure you guys drop a thumbs up. But once my TLRY oh, there it goes. All right, so it finished loading. We hit overall highs of about $31. It's been selling off to lows of $13.41. One of the things that I love to focus on is overall direction. Let's be honest, right? This thing has been very, very bearish. It's not that it's impossible for this thing to continue to uptrend. Obviously, it has, right? It went from lows of $13 back to $21. That's great for those that bought the dip and were in it when it was indicating signs of an uptrend. But now, it's been more bearish than it has been bullish. and looking at previous patterns and looking at how bearish it's been, it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it pulls on back. So instead of buying in right now and hoping that it continues to indicate signs of an uptrend, then either setting an alert, waiting for confirmation of an uptrend, that's one step, and or waiting for confirmation that if it does pull on back, that it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it tests support level at SMA line, or if it tests overall 180-day lows at $13.41. One of my biggest piece of encouragements ever from learning from my mistakes is it's so much more difficult. It's not impossible, but so much more difficult to make money off of a stock that is consistently selling off and that you're always just eager to buy the dip on and average down. The overall direction is not in your favor, and it's just continuing to bleed, right? If you actually think about it, how does it make sense to invest more money into something that's losing you money, right? It almost doesn't, right? You just have to hope that it begins to recover, and you never want to place yourself. You never want to place yourself in a hopeful position. So one very simple step that you can take is allow that direction to be in your favor and make sure that it's a good deal, and again, that the opportunity presents itself. That not just because you're looking at it right now that you have to buy, but maybe setting effective alerts, following up with it when it's at a decent price point, and then waiting for that proper indication of a reversal. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This one's going to be ticker symbol PLTR. So this is Palantir. This is from Peter Thiel. Very popular venture capitalist. If you guys don't remember, he was one of the first funders of Facebook. So he has this company named Palantir that recently IPO'd, and it's been recovering quite nicely. So it went from overall lows of $16.35. It's been recovering, and it's almost building this like bull flag pattern where it's like this ascending support and this horizontal resistance right around $25, right? So this is great if it only continues to uptrend. So for someone like myself, and maybe for someone like you that is not already invested in this, maybe it's not the best idea to buy right now. Maybe setting an alert for the break above 25.30, 25.50, and if we continue to indicate signs of an uptrend, then great, we can follow up with it and average up into it. But instead of buying and hoping, how much would it suck for this thing to begin to indicate signs of a pullback, right? Or selling back off down to $16 a share, and you literally just bought at the highs. So keeping it super, super simple, we can set effective alerts at $25.50 if it goes above, and also set an alert to see if it breaks below $23. And if it begins to break below, then guess what? You just saved yourself the idea of buying into a stock too early when it was already overbought and potentially being able to pull on back. Palantir has been selling off recently just due to recent conditions, so just make sure you do your own analysis and take that into consideration. The next one that I do want to break down is going to be FUBO, and that is from Jane within our Learn Plan Profit group. So this one was up a total of 7% on Friday, which makes sense on why you're bringing it up now. It's sold off to overall lows of 14.25. We've talked about FUBO multiple times before. We are now trading above the SMA line, indicating signs of higher highs, higher lows. Now we're gonna, approach this previous resistance level at $31.70, pretty much $32. So just make sure you watch that carefully. If we continue to indicate signs of an uptrend, then yeah, I would love to average up into this. But if we get rejected and then we begin to pull on back, then maybe buying at the lower SMA line or overall 180-day lows would make much more sense. Again, this is great until the direction is no longer in your favor. That would be viewed as a breakout pattern. So just make sure you take that into consideration and set effective alerts. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This is going to be ticker symbol AAL, and this is again concept from our Learn Plan Profit group. Again, all these people are part of our Learn Plan Profit Discord group, and if you guys want to join our team to not only be able to join this group and not only access as well as access to the A to Z video lesson library if you're an absolute beginner, but you also get to watch me trade live every day. That's going to be that second link down in the description if you want to learn a little bit more about it whenever it is that you're ready. So this is ticker symbol AAL. AAL, which is American Airlines, has been doing an amazing job recovering. You guys can see that from overall lows of $12, it's been making higher highs, higher lows, hit overall highs of $26, pulling on back. Decent deal. Now we're waiting for indication of a reversal. What does that mean? Breaking above EMA and making higher highs just like we've done before, making our way back to $25, $26, and hopefully new highs. But altogether, $26 has been a previous resistance level, so we can't be surprised if we get rejected once again. So if we go on over here, and from where we're at right now to previous highs, that would be right around 9%. So just make sure you take that into consideration. consideration. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This one's going to be ticker symbol NEM. And NEM is from Chris Garcia within our Learn Plan Profit group. So this one was pretty much break even on Friday. So let's go ahead and do an analysis on the 4-hour time frame. I love that this thing is bullish. It's been holding above the SMA line, been making higher highs, higher lows. Again, in comparison to maybe something like TLRY, where it's been very bearish overall. This is almost the exact opposite, where it's been more bullish than bearish, so it's a lot easier because the direction's in your favor. It's still not easy, but stocks that meet this criteria, that are making higher highs and higher lows over time, are just easier to make money on because the direction is in your favor, right? So if you're new, if you're just getting started, then again, allowing the direction or only trading stocks or investing in stocks that are bullish and that the direction are in your favor are just going to make it that much easier for you to have a greater success rate. So from where we're at right now, I definitely see why you're paying attention to it. We're testing support level at SMA. As long as we hold above and we don't break below, that's a step in the right direction. And from where we're at as of right now, of about $70 a share to previous highs of about $75, that's about 6.8%. So again, it's not a crazy return, but it's a consistent stock, very bullish, and I just love that you're focusing on something where the direction is in your favor. Let's go ahead and move on and do about 4 more stocks, and then we'll go from there. So again, if you guys are enjoying this, make sure you drop a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Let's go ahead and break down BAC. So this is Bank of America. Pretty much a break-even day on Friday. It was a little bit in the green, but again, not very much. Super bullish. Again, if you are someone that is struggling to grow your account, if you're a trader, if you're an investor, I agree. Bank of America is not a very volatile stock. It doesn't offer crazy return, but it's so consistent in how it's been trading, validating the SMA line as a support, making higher highs, higher lows. It's just so much easier when the direction is in your favor, especially if you're getting discouraged, especially if you're someone that has just been struggling to stay consistent, then maybe trading less risky stocks and something that is, again, a little bit more bullish than it is bearish is something that you can consider if you see value in it. This one offers about 4%, nearly 5% if we validate the SMA line as a support, which seems pretty certain based off previous patterns. But again, confirmation is key. Set those effective alerts. And if we break below the SMA line, then again, allow yourself to either wait before buying in too early and or watch that position size to be able to tolerate that pullback. Let's go ahead and break down CCIV. And this is from a V habit within our LPP group. This one was down about 1% on Friday. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on. So in my opinion, CCIV, just based off of overall lows and how it pumps up, it does not hold and it never holds. It looks like it sold right off. It pulled on back right away. If I'm not mistaken, CCIV is supposed to be like Lucid Motors or something like that. Every time that it pumps, it gets rejected right away. It pumped once again. I see why you're paying attention to it. It just wouldn't be much of a surprise if it pulls on back. Again, if it breaks above EMA line and it confirms the overall reversal and it makes higher highs, then allow that opportunity to present itself. But I would be more skeptical than certain or hopeful in the idea that this thing has to recover. I would be more certain that this thing has to pull back just because of how it tends to be more bearish than it is bullish. So just take that into consideration before either deciding to buy and or your position size. Let's go ahead and break down. Let's do, so we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go ahead and do 2 more and we'll call it a live stream. So this is one that I quickly want to talk about. This one was recommended by Leo within our LPP group. And the reason why this is Coin, which was a very popular IPO, it's Coinbase. And since it's IPO, one of the things that you guys can see is that it's been very, very bearish. Obviously, Coinbase being a newer company, newer stock that is publicly traded, has a lot to prove. But because if you're not already invested in Coin, this allows you to be able to get it for a better deal than when it IPO'd, right? There's a lot of people that are still bag holding, hoping that it recovers. Don't put yourself, even now, in a hopeful position. Allow that direction to be in your favor. It is trying to test and find a support level at $200. We can see that it hasn't really dropped below $200, which is great, but we're not really indicating signs of an uptrend in any way. So you're not missing out on anything by not buying in right now. What we can do is if you like Coinbase, if you like the actual app, you like the company, and you like what it stands for, then instead of buying in blindly, maybe setting effective alerts that once it actually begins to indicate signs of an uptrend, then yeah, I agree with you. I would love to be able to invest into Coinbase. to potentially be able to ride this back for the recovery, as again, it has huge potential. There's obviously a lot of hype during that time. The hype is obviously no longer there. You can see that with the volume. So instead of being hopeful, let's just add it to our watch list, set effective alerts, and follow up with it when it makes sense. And again, you have to hold yourself accountable to be able to follow up with these different stocks. Now, the last one that I do want to talk about is just going to be FSR. This one's recommended by, I think it's Janine, and again, part of our Learn Plan Profit group. So FSR was one that was recommended. This is Fisker, again, one of the original competitors to Tesla. If you guys do remember, this one had a 1% day due to aftermarket hour performance, and you guys can see that it has pumped up sometimes to highs of $33. It doesn't normally hold. It sells right back off. It's pumping right now. So if you want to partake in the action, then great, so be it. If you find the direction to be in your favor and it remains bullish, great, right? That opportunity is still present. But if we break below EMA line, just know that this thing has a habit and a history of bleeding. I would hate for you to buy here, have no idea of what risk management is, and you bag hold all the way back down. If you're gonna be someone that doesn't know how to manage risk, then I wouldn't buy, just because I do view it to be more overbought. If you know how to manage risk and mitigate risk and know how to be able to scalp something as long as it stays true to its overall direction and above EMA, then great. Just make sure that you watch your position size to allow it to be a little bit easier for you to mitigate that risk. But that's really just it for today. Thank you guys again for your time. I really do appreciate you guys allowing me to upload this video instead of going live. If you guys enjoyed it, all the stocks that we broke down today are right on here on my left hand side on the Webull application. If you guys want to learn more about the Webull application, I just made a video about my full setup yesterday. So if you guys want to check that video out, it's a full breakdown on exactly my Webull setup and how it is that I use it to day trade. So again, that is going to be the previous video that I just uploaded on my YouTube channel. So make sure you guys subscribe if you guys haven't done so already. Don't forget to join our free Facebook group. That's going to be that first link in the description to connect with over 313,000 members. And again, if you guys want to be able to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, all you guys need to do is click the second link down below if you're an absolute beginner and you want to watch me trade live and learn how to trade. Again, second link down below. Learn a little bit more about the Learn Plan Profit group, and we will see you tomorrow at Market Open. Hope you earned your thumbs up. Consider subscribing, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.